What is going on, my friends, and welcome back to another video on the channel. Well, Solana is following the exact pattern that we talked about yesterday. So in yesterday's video, I said, should I buy Solana right now? And I talked about the exact things that I would need to see from the price in order for me to get ready to buy it. So the steps that we talked about yesterday, we're going to be starting with this red candle. So this candle had just turned red in that video, and I said usually what'll happen off the patterns that we've been seeing recently is that first red candle is an implication. Once we're extended out of this Bollinger Band, we come up out this Bollinger Band, that first red candle out there is an implication that we're going to slow down to re-enter into our Bollinger Bands. Okay, we see it this time, we saw it this time, and we saw it this time. Okay, it followed that beautifully. Now the next step that I said I wanted to see happen was that the price comes down to interact with this simple moving average, this 20 SMA that runs in the middle of our Bollinger Bands. Well, as you can see, we had that flash crash, but Solana absolutely just smashed it. It ate it right back up, and we started to work our way back up here. We came up, hit some resistance at our 2.618 fib extension off of this swing high down to this swing low before coming back down to retest our 786 to 618. Now pushing up to our 1.618, a very beautiful move. We're reacting very strongly off of this Fibonacci extension levels from that were provided by, again, this swing high, our previous swing high to swing low. So it's definitely worth keeping an eye on these levels as support and resistance. But what we're seeing again at the moment is now we have interacted with that 20 SMA, we've cleared it, and it looks like we may have established support above it. Now, not only have we interacted with the 20 SMA, if we do go ahead and zoom in a bit, we can see that we've also seemingly established support on the 20 EMA as we do go forward. So at this very moment, there's a little mini squeeze happening right now. There's a mini squeeze happening between our 20 EMA and our 1.618 Fibonacci extension level. So I really want to see that the price is able to go up and clear and close above $162 without falling back below this 20 EMA. If we fall back below this 20 EMA, I believe there's still a really good chance that we're going to see the price really start to roll over. Okay, so we first and foremost, step number one at the moment is we want to see a clear $162 and get above this 1.618 fib extension level. Then we can start to look at some of this upward momentum. Step number three, coming up off of that, that trade in which we were talking about, was the 786 level. You guys do know that's the key level for me. Very, very important. So what we're going to do, as I said, I would then go from the high we created down to whatever swing low we set, the lowest point in which we go to, which was way down here. And this is going to be our key level of resistance. This is going to be our breakout target. Our breakout price. We break out this price. We have a breakout target all the way up to possibly up into the $239 region. Okay. Since this was such a big move and we were able to eat it up like this, there's a good chance we see a continuation of an even bigger move to the upside. Okay. If good enough support established and we start to see the whole market start to turn a little green and things like that. So what I would be looking to see at the moment is if we're able to keep above $162, I'm under the belief that we'll come back up and retest $180. Okay, we can see that it acted as massive resistance here, massive resistance. And if we are able to come up and get a close above this level, optimally two, but one is just as good, I would be willing to put a little short-term trade, just a little mini trade, just some little small dollars on this bet to say that it comes here, we get this close, and we're going to execute on a $214 1.272 Fibonacci extension. I mean, if we're able to do that, that's a beautiful little trade right there. Let's go ahead. Let's zoom in. I mean, we're looking at a possible, say if we catch it a little late, boom. I mean, looking at a possible 15, 16% gain there. Now do remember, this is just following the same pattern in which we've seen here. But do remember that the more you're buying right now, while the price is setting all-time highs, you are putting yourself in more and more and more risk. It does not mean it can't do it again. I mean, we've clearly seen, boom, it's done it, it's done it, it's done it. At some point, the pattern will break, okay? We've seen when prices get a little heavy, how fast these things can drop, okay? So if you're taking on trades, I would be setting stop losses 1,000,000%. Right? The stop loss I would be setting for this specific example, it would be back down below our 20 SMA. So say if you're able to catch it around $180, if it clears out or that 0.786, I would give it some room. Right? I would give it some room to possibly fall, retest, backtest support, and continue upwards. But I would definitely say we come back down to lose this 20 SMA. There's a good likelihood we come down to retest this the bottom of our Bollinger Band envelope. And just to limit some of those losses, I would say that setting a stop loss below that 20 SMA would be a fantastic idea. Setting stop losses right now are going to be incredibly important while it's setting all-time highs. Okay? I know there's little flash crash events like we saw here, which could have triggered a stop loss and it continues upwards. But in a realistic picture, in a big big picture, setting those stop losses can really save you from any type of massive dump that may happen that starts some type of continuous long-term downtrend, as it has been setting again big all-time highs. Remember, when we see the price climbing exponentially, there's typically a real good retrace at some point before upward continuation. And this is what we want to protect ourselves from, okay? So we can still be buying and we can still be making some trades to the upside, but as long as we're protecting ourselves from this move here, okay? So just a quick little recap of what all I'm looking for at the moment in order to be buying to finish off this trade. I'm again just looking to make sure that we are able to hold above $162, as that was going to be that key level of resistance. If we're able to clear $162, all we got to do is go swing high down to our swing low, and I'm looking to see us clear about 100, and let's get that perfect. There we go. Let's get that perfect there. Boom. We're looking to clear $180. It's our exact number, $180. If we go up there, we get a good close above it, not a wick, but a full close above it, be looking to see if this thing starts to work its way to 216. I think this is confirmation. If we go clear that new high and we go set a new high, that's double confirmation that there's a great trade to the 1.272 there. But if you do want to be a little bit more risky and probably take on a little bit more risk, but have a little bit more reward, getting a good purchase in right after we clear this 786 wouldn't be a terrible idea. Just please make sure you set your stop losses. But again, with your execution target of $216. Okay, so that's the trade I'm looking at right now. That is a trade that I will be taking on personally if it does happen. Again, we're looking to take advantage of these trends. As we start to set these similar patterns, we're going to trade those patterns until they break. When they break, we find a new pattern and we go from there. Okay, and so that's what I'm looking for at the moment. So with that being said, of course, I will update you guys as soon as I possibly can on what I see, if anything happens, if we clear any important levels, if we lose any important levels, if we come down to lose this 20 SMA, I'll make a video because I have breakdown targets to the downside. So definitely do stay tuned for that. If a big move happens, make sure you do get notified as soon as I make a video by subscribing to the channel and pressing that little notification bell next to the subscribe button. And I will see you all in the next video. Peace.